पुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः गुकारो अन्धकारो वै ऋकारस्तन्निवर्तकः अन्धकारनिरोधित्वात् गुरुरित्यभिधीयते। ओम सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांतिः। ओम नमो भगवते वैवस्वताय मृत्यवे ब्रह्म विद्या आचार्याय नचिकेतसे नमः। We are in the Kaṭha Upaniṣad, second chapter, first section, fourth mantra. Second chapter of the Kaṭha Upaniṣad have two sessions, and we are in the three sessions, and we are in the first section, fourth mantra. I will read the mantra and I will give the connection with the previous mantra, and we will explain what Shankara has told about this mantra. I will read the fourth mantra. Supnantam jakaritantam cha ubhau yenanupashyati mahantam vibhum atmanam matva dhiro nashochati. Once more I will read. Supnantam jakaritantam cha ubhau yenanupashyati mahantam vibhum atmanam matva dhiro nashochati. Lord Yama, Lord Death, giving the traditional teachings to Nachiketas as he asked to Lord Death, Anyatra dharmat, Anyatra adharmat, Anyatra kritat agradacha, Anyatra bhutacha bhavyacha, Yat tat pashyati tatvata. First chapter, second section, 15th mantra. Very clean cut question towards Lord Yama. What is beyond the dharma and adharma? What is beyond the cause and the product? What is beyond the future and the past? Please give me the details, or please give me the explanation about that if it exists in this world. This was Nachiketa's third wound, and this is the crucial verse which talks about Nachiketa's question. And Lord Yama is expanding the instructions or the advice, and we got this traditional teaching called Kaṭha Upaniṣad. The expansion of the same thing from the different perspective standpoints. So here this verse explains, Yama tells to Nachiketas that Swapnantam. Anthe tishtati. In the middle of the Swapna, dream. What are the objects which we see in the dream? Those experiences which we see through dream, there should be a person to perceive that. So, Lord Death says, somebody who is not involved in the experiences of the dream, who is apart from the dream. There will be always a triputi, the three different standpoints in the waking state itself. The perceiver, what is perceived, and perception. Drashta, drishyam, darshanam. So a pot is perceived by a perceiver through the eyes. So pramanam, pramata, prameyam. This is called triputi in Sanskrit. An experiencer, experienced, experience. Pramata, one who sees, one who perceives. Prameyam, that which is perceived. And pramanam, perception. So these three things are involved in a whole experience. We call it in Sanskrit triputi. So the whole dream is completely experienced by somebody who is not involved in the dream. Who is what we call the person who perceives the dream. The same way, Jagaritantam, one who perceives in the waking stage. One who perceives in the dream stage, one who perceives in the waking stage. Different types of objects are there in the dream. We know that there is no specific rule for dream. Any object will be created in the dream, and all these objects will be resolved inside the dream. No objects come from outside. Everything is created inside the dream. Everything will be resolved inside the dream. There is no external thing coming to the dream experience. So here, Lord Death says that what are the objects which are perceived in the dream state? What are the objects which are perceived in the waking state? Both are being perceived by one person or one individual who is apart, who is separate from these objects. Ubhe, ubhau, both these things, both these states and objects by whom it is perceived. Yena, by whom? In Sanskrit, Yena means by whom. Anupashyati, seen, grasped, known, understood. Everything we can translate the Anupashyati word. So now we need further explanation for this sentence. Listen me carefully. The consciousness is not an experience. Remember, consciousness is not an experience what you get an experience in meditation or after doing a puja, you feel fresh, you feel positive energy. That's an experience. That's a stage. That's a state. Consciousness is not subject for any kind of stage. Avastha. Stage means avastha. Avastha atitaha jnanam. It's not subject to any kind of stage or state. Why? State is something which starts and which will also have an end. There is a beginning and there is an end for a state. For example, dream state. We will take that dream itself. Dream starts at a period of time. We enjoy the dream and it will end in a particular time. Any state is subject to have an end and have a beginning. Adi Antavat. What has a beginning, what has an end is not myself, is not consciousness. Remember, what has a beginning, what has an end, it is not me. But one who perceives, one who understands, it started and it comes to an end. That person is same who didn't start along with the dream and who didn't end along with the dream. He continues before and after. That consciousness remaining there, different states comes and goes. Consciousness never comes and goes. It's eternal, nityam. On this consciousness, jagaritam, waking state, sopnam, dream state, sushupti, deep sleep state, happens one after another. There is no specific rule that after one stage and another stage should come. There is no specific rule. One can directly go to deep sleep from the waking state. One can go to the dream state from the waking state. From the deep sleep state, one can go to dream state. From the deep sleep state, one can go to the waking state. There is no specific rule for all these states. But consciousness being there, which is not subject to any kind of distraction, these states comes one after another in our day-to-day life. So here, the state itself is mithya. Dream state is mithya, something which never existed. It only seems to be appearing on that time. I already mentioned you a sloka from the Mandukya Karika. Swapnamaye yatha drishtam gandharva nakaram yata tata vishwam idam drishtam vedanteshu vichakshanaihi. In the Mandukya Upanishad, a Karika written by Gaudapada Acharya says that Swapnamaye yatha drishtam gandharva nagaram. A fully developed city, Gandharva Nagaram. One who perceives in the dream due to the Maya, due to the mysterious power. But that city will get vanished once you wake up. We know that. That's why it's called Maya, Mithya Kalpidam. That which is not available to the next state, which comes to an end when the state ends. That is why it is called Maya, Mithya. Something which is only occurring on that time. After that, it's not available. That's why it is called Mithya or Maya. I already told a few times. Please remember that. Once the state is changed, everything gets resolved. It's not available anymore. So, the people who are well versed in Vedantic teachings say that the dream state and the waking state are one and the same. Gaudapada Acharya says that. Waking state doesn't have any important, or waking state is not superior than dream state. They are one and the same. Dream state and waking state have the same value because they are states. What are the objects perceived in our waking state? My wife, my husband, my children, my car, my house, my dog, my clothes, everything, my body, my mind, everything. These are all the objects which we use to perceive in the waking state. Different things. My house, my husband, my wife, my children, my cosmetics, my bangles, my mala, whatever it may be, everything is resolved once you enter into deep sleep state or into the dream state. Nothing is available there. You are not even aware of one's own body. So, one of the Upanishads says that in the deep sleep state, a lion is not a lion at all. A king is not a king at all. A servant is not a servant at all. All are one and the same in one state, deep sleep state. So, the objects itself get vanished in both states. Why? State itself is temporary. Any state, we can analyze any state. Waking state itself is a temporary state. Want to talk about the things which are appearing inside the waking state. Waking state itself is not permanent. How can we say that the things which are appearing inside the waking state is permanent? No. So, being both states are temporary, what are the objects perceived in these both states are also temporary, impermanent. But there is a person who coordinates these both states. After waking state, I went to deep sleep state, or I went to dream state, and again now I wake up. Now, one who coordinates, one who realizes that three states has came and gone in me, that person who is the consciousness which is eternal. In this consciousness, we superimpose three avastha. Avastha trayam. Three states. Trayam means three states. Avastha trayam. Jagarita avastha, Swapna avastha, Sushupti avastha. In this consciousness, we superimpose three different states. And these states will occur one after another. There is no rule that one should follow other. In the waking state, we used to go directly to sleep while we are traveling in a train or bus. We don't see dream, just we go to sleep. So, avastha traya sakshi. This is the word often quoted in every Upanishads. Avastha traya sakshi. The witness of these three states. One who, untouched by all the experiences which are occurring in these states. Because Sakshi means witness. Witness will not have a participation in the experiences. Witness will be always outside the experiences. One who witnessed all the things happening or occurring around him. That is why a specific word which we use in order to identify this consciousness. Avastha traya sakshi. Very important word. One who witnesses these three states without having any participation. Because Atma is formless, so it is untouched by all the experiences of the dream state and also in the waking state. Atma is formless, Atma is bodiless, so that no experiences can make any mark in Atma. That is why it's also called pure consciousness, Shuddha Bodham. Nitya Shuddha, Nitya Buddha, Nitya Mukta Swabhava. Nityam, permanent. Shuddham, pure, ever permanent, ever It's pure, ever pure. Nitya Shuddha. So all the experiences are related to body now. We right now we are concluding that any experiences, any states are pertaining to the body, not for Atma. Because Atma is witness. All these states are happening inside a body. All these three states are happening inside a body. Now it's very clear. I already told you these three states are superimposed on Atman. Then I told you Atma is witness of all these three states. Now these states, three states are pertaining to a body. One who is endowed with a body will go through these three states. But the consciousness which is inside the body is all-pervading consciousness. Remember, the consciousness which is obtaining inside this limited body is all-pervading consciousness. He is not limited by the body. Even though all these three states occur in this consciousness because of the body, it doesn't limited by the body or these three states. This all-pervading consciousness, being the witness of all the experiences inside these states, is free from all kinds of experiences. One who knows this. Now we come to the second sentence and we will explain clearly. One who knows this all-pervading consciousness, who is the witness of all the experiences and the objects of these three states. Here only two states are mentioned, Swapnantam, Jagaridantam cha. One who sees, one who understands clearly, Mahantam, Vibhum, Atmanam, Matva. Three words to be explained clearly. Mahantam, the great, the big. It's called Mahan, the big. What is meant by big? Normally, big is used as adjective in our language. We cannot, big is not a word we can use in a single way. We cannot use only the big. We have to use along with the noun. When we say big, what big you are talking? Big ant or big elephant or big star or big man or big house? So there is no usage of single word big. Big is an adjective which we use along with the noun. We have to say big flower, big house, big ant, big elephant. So here the big is used as noun, the one and the only big thing in the world, which includes all the biggest thing in the world. Remember, whenever we say Brahma, the word Brih Dhatu represents the big. We don't use as adjective, we use as noun, the big. which includes all the biggest things in the world. Mahantam, that which is the biggest. So it includes the big ant, it includes the big solar system, it includes the big elephant, it includes everything. The big, we don't use as an adjective, we use as a noun, the big. Mahantam, the big, the great. That consciousness which is the great, because this consciousness being there, all superimposition occur. In all the superimpositions, there will be three states. We know that a lion will also go to sleep, a dog will also go to sleep, and it will also see some dreams, and it will move the legs when it sees the dreams. We have seen that. All the animals are superimposed forms in the consciousness, and in these forms, three states will come one after another. And one who knows that the witness of these three states is one and the only all-pervading Atman, which is big. One who knows that. Mahantam vibhum vividam bhavati iti vibhu. That became many. Vibhu. One thing which became many. The creator itself became created. The creation has so many things, but the one and only consciousness is appearing as the names and forms in this universe, in this creation. Vividam bhavati. That which became many. The one thing, that consciousness. So Shankara's stock example. One clay became different pots. We don't say clays. We say clay. One clay. The clay is one. It's universal. We will not say different clays. One clay became many pots. When we go to a pot maker's house and we witness different types of pots, we say one and only clay is appearing in different pots. Similarly, one and only consciousness appears here as different names and forms. That is called vibhuhu. Vividam bhavati iti vibhuhu. It's very important. What is meant by vibhu? That which became many, like the pots became many from one clay. Atmanam. Now it's directly connected with the listener. Atmanam. This all-pervading consciousness is my intrinsic nature. This all-pervasive consciousness is the intrinsic nature of the listener. So, Lord Death says directly to Nachiketas, what you have asked, that something beyond the dharma and the adharma, something beyond the cause and the product, something beyond the past and the future, it is you. It is the person. It is the individual, Atmanam. Knowing oneself, what? I am the all-pervading consciousness which is untouched by any experiences which are occurring in the waking state and the dream sleep state. And who is the experiencer? Who is the witness of all the objects which are occurring in the deep sleep state and in the dream state and the waking state? Of course, there is no such experience in deep sleep state. We have only one experience in deep sleep state. When we wake up, we say that I happily slept for 3 hours. Happiness is available in the deep sleep state. Why? There is a reunion of the individual and the Hiranyagarbha, or the consciousness is not divided. There is no division. There is no duality in deep sleep. I don't see other than anything. Only I see my intrinsic nature of happiness. There is no division in deep sleep state. That is why I say when I wake up, I happily slept for 3-4 hours. Happy. There is where there is no division, Dvaita abhavad anandam. Where there is no division, where there is no duality, we experience happiness. So, one who knows that I am the all-pervading consciousness who became many as names and forms in this world, who is the experiencer of the dream sleep state and also the waking state. By knowing oneself, one should know clearly like this: I am the witness of these two states. I am the witness of all the objects of these two states. When you are a witness, you need not to worry when the things are happening. A witness will not affected by any experiences. Whether it is in, because waking state we have problem in waking state, we just get involved. Oh, my son, oh, my daughter, my house, my vehicle, my things, then we get affected. Really speaking, all these things are just temporary, which are inside the temporary state called waking state. The state itself being temporary, there is no point of worrying about the temporary things which are occurring inside the waking state. These things we are right now like a bank cashier, all the cash he has to collect and he has to take care of the cash. He don't have any other role, just he has to take care. Similarly, according to our karma phala, according to our results of punya and papa, according to the laws of karma, we have different things right in front of us to enjoy or to take care, whether it is a TV, whether it is a mixture, whether it is a golden bangle. We are just taking care of that by wearing and keeping in the almara, whatever it may be. We should not get attached by that. It's there, that's all. It will continue. It is temporary inside the waking state. Still, I should take care of the things as a bank cashier. One who take care of the cash which are deposited, one who take care of the cash which are withdrawn. Both he will make a list and keep with that. He don't have any role by writing what is withdrawn and what is deposited by the people. But he has to take care of that. Similarly, our car should be taken care of. Our house should be taken care of. But I don't have any role. I am just a bank cashier like. The role is just like a person who is renting a building. who is staying on rent on a building. Some other Mahatma says that you live in this world like a bird who is sitting in a branch yet to break. That branch is yet to break in 5 minutes. Or the branch is going to break in 5 or 10 minutes. You just stay there. You cannot get attached to that branch. Oh, this branch should not break at all. There's no point of worrying about that. That is why Lord Krishna told the first verse while he giving the advice to Arjuna. Ashocya nanva shochastvam. You are worrying. You are getting sorrow on the things which are not to be sorrow, which doesn't have a room for sorrow. Something very important. Similarly, when you know that you are the witness of all the experiences, when I say all the experiences means the experiences through your daughters, the experiences through your son, the experiences through your husband, the experiences from the collective society, the experience from the people who are nearby. All these are being experienced by the person who is untouched by the experience. This security we should feel in our life. We are untouched by the daughter's action. We are untouched by our son's action. We are untouched by the people, by the actions done by our neighbors or the people around me. I am untouched, ever pure. This is something very important. That is why Lord Death says, very word, Dhiro na shochati. Dhiraha na shochati. Knowing the real fact about oneself. That is why Atmanam, the word is given. Knowing the fact about oneself that I will not be untouched by any experiences occurring in the waking state. Waking state make me a lot of disturbances, correct? My health, my circumstances, my situations, the people around me make a lot of nuisance for me. I get disturbed. The waking state is the main issue for me. So, Lord Death says, Jagaritantam, the objects which are perceived inside the waking state are not you, or not myself. But one should see all these things are temporary. As long as the waking state is there, they are there. We don't presuppose ideas on them. We don't prejudice ideas on the things which are right in front of me. So, without having any ideas about the things in front of me, I see them as they are. So, waking state being a very important state in one's life, which can cause lot of disturbance. At the same time, in the waking state only, we are getting the knowledge also. Right now, we are discussing the things in the waking state. We cannot completely blame the waking state. Waking state is a blessed state, actually. In the dream state, there is no room for getting the knowledge. Nobody will come inside the dream and will not give any kind of instruction. The waking state is the state to get the knowledge and to be freed from this universe called death and birth cycle. So, waking state being a crucial state, the objects which are appearing around me, according to my own destiny, I have 3 sons, or I have 2 daughters and 1 son, or I have 3 daughters. I have a neighbor who is always disturbing me. I have some other things, some body issue. I have some diseases. All these things are temporary because the waking state itself is temporary. I am not the waking state. I am not the things which are appearing in the waking state. I am the consciousness who is the witness of the waking state. By knowing this, matva, now the word is very important. Matva, knowing this, because each and every word has a crucial role. Knowing this, that the waking state and the objects are temporary, which is not me at all. They are not subject to disturb me. They don't have the capacity to disturb me. They don't have the capability to make me down, put down. By knowing this, of course, waking state can be used for good things also. Reading, listening to the classes, doing some good dishes inside the kitchen. We can use the waking state. Even that is not me. It's all meant for my body survival. I am untouched by all these experiences, whether it is good or whether it is bad. Waking state reward, waking state give me two types of experiences. One is good, one is bad. But both are untouched by me. I am the all-pervading consciousness, which is the great, which is the big. Vibhum, Vibhu. Who is Vibhu? Vividam Bhavadi. Who is many in name and forms. Myself is in the name and form, different names and forms. I identify the dog as the consciousness which is all-pervading. I am not away from the dog which is right in front of me from the standpoint of reality. From the standpoint of reality, the dog and me are one. The glowworm, very small insect, which reflects light around me in the night, glowworm. And the sun, which give light to the entire universe. Glowworm is not capable to give the light for the entire universe. It just brings a small light in front of me. But both are light. The glowworm and the sun are two different bodies, but from the standpoint of the light, they are one. The spark and the fire are two different bodies, but from the standpoint of fire and hot, they are one. That is why I don't feel any insecurity when I see something right in front of me. Whether it is a dog, whether it is any other thing in front of me, I am the consciousness which is all-pervading, which is also inside that body also. Knowing the reality about the things which are occurring in around the world, all the names and forms are seems to be separate only by the ignorance. When there is ignorance, I feel I am separate from this body. That's why I get attracted towards some body. I am detached with some bodies. I don't like this guy. I like this guy. I am very much fond of this ice cream. I am not fond of this item. Why? Due to ignorance. There is no like and dislike from the standpoint of reality. Likes and dislikes are in the realm of duality. From the standpoint of reality, everything is nothing but one single consciousness called Atman or Brahman. Knowing this reality, dhiro na shochati. The dhiraha, the discriminative one. It's not that the dhira means a person who is courageous and brave. In Sanskrit, dhiraha means a person who can discriminate what is right and what is wrong, what is real and unreal. Dhi means buddhi, discrimination, vivechanam, muncha dishika miva drishyavarga. Shankara says in Viveka Chudamani, a grass which we see in the field, muncha, which has a sharpened edges. If we put the hands and take it out, we may cut our hands. But if we have the knack or technique to directly take the middle part of that grass, that will not hurt our hands. Similarly, Lord Shankara says in Viveka Chudamani, a person should be so much discriminative so that he can separately distinguish the Atman from these external appearances, names and forms. One should have the capacity like this to take the middle part from that grass with a technique. Similarly, a person should have the capacity of discrimination to see the Atman beyond all names and forms, to grasp the Atman. Due to ignorance, we perceive names and forms. Due to knowledge, we perceive the Atman in spite of the appearance of names and forms. So here it is told, dhiro na shochati. Very beautiful result. If we have this discrimination, if we have the knowledge about these two states, that all the objects which are appearing in these two states are temporary, which are not having the capacity to hurt me, which are not having the capacity to make me disturb, because all these things are inert, jadam, they are appearing in one state. That state itself is temporary. And these things also temporary because they appear in one particular state. One who knows these, by whom it is witnessed, these names and forms in these states, that person is actually great. The big Vibhu, that person knows that he became many in the form of names and forms, which are apparent realities. That person is the individual, the particular individual who is also called Brahman. Knowing this reality about the states and the objects and about oneself, clean-cut discrimination, by knowing this, dhiraha, this guy, the discriminative one, never grieves in the life. An enlightened person while living in the world. It's not that after death one gets moksha. While living in the world, in the midst of each and every objects, a person gets enlightened by the discrimination of what is real and unreal. Knowing this, a person never feel insecure, never nashochati, never grieves, shocham, dukkham, sorrow. No, no room for sorrow for this discriminative guy. This is the whole meaning of this verse. I want to read one verse from the Shankara's commentary, which is very important. He says, Sakshat ahamasmi paramatma idi dhiraha na shojati. In the Shankara's commentary for this verse, he concludes this commentary for this verse like this, no? Mahantam vibhum atmanam matva avagamya atmabhavena. By knowing oneself that I am the great, I am the biggest, I am the thing which became many, and Sakshat Ahamasmi Paramatma. I am the ultimate Atman. Ahamasmi. I am. For I am, we say Aham Asmi. I am. He is. Saha Asti. In Sanskrit, he is. Saha Asti. Now we say you are. Tvam Asi. Tattvamasi. We have listened to that. He is and you are and I am. I am means Aham Asmi. I exist independently, not depending any other thing. Aham Asmi Paramatma. I am this all-pervasive Paramatman. Knowing this, Dhiraha na shojati. The person never grieves. There is no room for sorrow in that person's life. We may be endowed with our body which having lot of difficulties because knowledge is not going to change any situations in one's life. We may be having some issues regarding the body. We may be having some issues regarding our homely situations. These are all empirical situations. Don't compare the empirical situations or don't attract the empirical situation to the spiritual plane. Because empirical situation is connected to the body's destiny. And we are talking about the ultimate reality of the individual human being. By knowing this, in spite of all body issues, in spite of all the family situation, one will be free in the midst of all difficulties. One will be completely calm and peaceful in spite of all the difficulties regarding the body and the situation. This is called Dhiraha na shochati. The discriminative person will not grieve. Even lot of situations are there around him to become disturbed. In spite of all these situations, knowing the reality, the person will be calm and quiet. Dhiraha na shochati. This shochati word occur again and again in the coming verses also, because this is the result of the person who know the reality about oneself. We will discuss about the next verse in the coming class. We will conclude now. Om Swasti Prajabhya Paripalayantam Nyayena Margena Mahim Mahishah Gobrahmanebhya Shupamastu Nityam Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Kale Varshadu Parjanyah Prathivi Sasya Shalini Deshoyam Choparahitaha Brahmana Santu Nirpayaha Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramayaha Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschit Dukkha Bhavet असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतं गमय। ओम पूर्णमतः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम।